Well, the Fox has done it again, now through May 11th, one of the most endearing shows of all time, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at the Fox through May 11th. Joining us is Ryan Williams. Ryan, welcome to Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You play the Pharaoh.
I play, the Pharaoh, King of Egypt.
And I don't know enough about Joseph, so give us a quick rundown of what the story is.
Okay, it's taken from the Old Testament, Joseph and his coat of many colors. Basically, Joseph is favored by his father, Jacob, given a really nice coat. His brothers get jealous, sell him to Egypt to be a slave.
Right.
And it turns out that he has a knack for interpreting dreams, and he interprets the Pharaoh's dreams and saves all of Egypt from the horrible famine.
Right. What's amazing to me is that these musicals can take, in this case, a biblical story and turn it into a musical. Right? You can take Victor Hugo's Les Mis and turn it into a musical. I mean, that's the magic of it all, isn't it?
Well, this show actually is kind of different in that Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice wrote it, the same team that wrote Jesus Christ Superstar and Phantom of the Opera. But with this show, they use all genres of music. There's rock and roll, there's disco, country western, even a calypso number. I do an Elvis turn in the show of all things, King of Rock, King of Egypt.
Right.
So this show kind of has everything built into it. So it's kind of not even a musical that's like other musicals where it all is the same style. This kind of is just a mashup of everything.
This has been around a while. I mean, this is tried and true. I mean, this is a classic musical.
1968. It was the first collaboration between Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice, and it was written just to be sung by children, and it caught on. Became some hits were in it, and it just people can identify with it.
Yeah.
It's just a fun story.
Tim Rice come by anymore? Have you had a chance to meet him? Have you had a chance to?
They've seen clips of the show, and it's been updated, so their work has been altered.
Okay.
So they had to have approval.
Right.
But they haven't actually been across the pond to see us yet.
Gotcha. I interviewed Tim Rice a couple of years ago when Aida was coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And a kind of similar story in a sense.
Yeah.
A biblical story, Egypt, and so on and so forth. But that's one of my all-time favorites. And Tim Rice, I mean, you don't get any better than Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice.
Yeah.
The Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat through May 11th at the fabulous Fox Theater. You're from St. Louis?
Well, my dad's in the Air Force. He was stationed at Scott when I was in kindergarten and first grade. My parents have always come back here. In fact, my dad just retired, and they live here now.
Okay.
In the O'Fallon, Illinois.
Okay.
The other side of it.
Sure, certainly. And so you were how old when you left here? Or
Well,
let me ask you this one: did you ever see a play or a musical at the Fox as a patron?
yes.
Okay. Now that you're performing at the Fox, take me through that thought process.
It is, first of all, just walking into, this is my third time at the Fox on tour, and my third show. But every time you come into it, you're awestruck when you walk out on that stage. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful theater, but it's so huge and so epic.
Right.
I'm reminded every time I walk on that stage, you're never really prepared for it. It takes your breath away. The Phantom of the Opera.
Wow.
So there's a lot of history in the Fox.
It's so interesting you talk about the size of it because so many people who come in who've been on Broadway, who see the Broadway shows. I've been to Broadway. Those theaters are small. They're intimate. It's almost you have a personal relationship with each one of the people watching it. But the Fox is almost scarier than Broadway because of its size.
Yeah. And you can't in any other theater you can read the first 3 rows, the first 4 rows. There are faces. You can see them. and you can feel the audience. In the Fox, the orchestra pit's really big,
Right.
and I can't see the front row of the audience. So you're just. I hope they're liking it.
Some people have told me that it's a delayed. You have to sort of let the audience hear it and then wait for their response.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But if they really like it, you know.
Yeah. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat runs through May 11th here at the fabulous Fox Theater. Tell me about the coat, because that's the famous. If no one knows anything about this, they know Kramer walked down the street in that funky coat. So tell me about the coat.
That is true. That's the first thing I saw the first day of rehearsal. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. But our coat is based on a stained glass window in Jerusalem. Chagall, the artist, did it. And the whole coat is made to look like this window, and it represents the tribes of Egypt. So each brother has its own panel, and she had that idea and went with it, and they have executed it beautifully in our show. It really looks like a stained glass window,
right,
when it finally appears for the big reveal at the end of the show, and. It's different than any coat I've ever seen. I've done the show 4 times, and like you said, the one Kramer wore, they all had a certain look to them, and no coat has actually looked like this. It's very distinct. They did a good job.
The coat is so iconic that there was a story in the newspaper about the coat coming into town.
Our coat, yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty iconic coat when you think about it.
Yeah.
All right, through May 11th, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. It's one of those great musicals that has slipped through me, so I'm definitely going to go see it. May 11th through May 11th, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Ryan Williams plays the Pharaoh. Ryan, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. Back in a moment here, Big 550, Kate.